Okay, so we just got through with graphing parabolas. Now we're graphing circles. So if you think back to parabolas, we only had one squared term in our equations. This time, on all circles, you have an x squared term and a y squared term. Because essentially, so parabolas, they go out like forever in that direction, right? This would go out forever. So they make U shapes. We're just combining those two U shapes and we're creating a circle. Okay, if that makes sense. But so the form or the equation for a circle, when it's at the center, it's x squared plus y squared equals r squared, where r is the radius. And remember, the radius is the distance from the center of the circle to the edge. That's the radius. So this all the way around is the same. That radius is always the same. Okay. When the center is not at the origin, then it's at HK. So this is x minus h squared plus y minus k squared equals r squared. And where these are always the opposite. So see how this is a negative h in there? It's just positive h right there. That's a negative k, so that's a positive k. All right. So let's look at this first example. I'm going to zoom in a little bit on it. So we need to write an equation of the circle with the following characteristics. So the center is at the origin. So the center is at 0, 0, and the radius is 7. So when the center is at 0, 0, we're using this equation right here. So this is just going to be x squared plus y squared, and then r is 7, so that equals 7 squared. Then we can just square out the 7. So 7 squared is 49, so the equation is x squared plus y squared equals 49. And that's your equation right there. Okay, let's look at this second example right here. So the center is at 5, negative 2, and the radius is 8. So if the center is at 5, negative 2, 5 is your h, negative 2 is your k. And remember, when we put it back into the equation, it's always the opposite. So this is going to be, it's x minus h, so it's x minus 5 squared plus y minus k, so that's y minus negative 2, which is y plus 2 squared, equals, my radius is 8, so it equals 8 squared, which that is just x minus 5 squared plus y plus 2 squared equals 64. In between, it's always a plus. You'll never have a minus right there. Okay? Let me just box this. Whoops. I kind of cut off the 64. That's a 64. Okay, so now what is an equation for each translation? So we start at this equation right here. So x squared plus y squared equals 1. We go left 4 units. That means that my x is negative 4. Because if I go left 4, that means I went on the x-axis 4 units. And I went down 3, so that means my y is negative 3. Now I can just, so my h is negative 4. My y is negative 3. So when I write the equation for this, this is going to be x plus 4 squared, because it's the opposite, plus y plus 3 squared equals 1, because the radius didn't change. And you're done. Okay, let's do this one. So if it goes right 2 units, that means x equals 2. And it goes up 3 units, that means y equals 3. And then when I put those into there, if I perform this translation, this is going to be x minus 2, because it's the opposite, plus y minus 3 squared equals 9. And you're done. Okay. Okay, let's look at this. So we need to find the radius of a circle and write the equation in standard form. So you guys should have seen this equation before. This is the distance between 2 points equation. So the distance is basically the square root of the x2 coordinate minus the x1 coordinate squared plus the y2 coordinate minus the y1 coordinate squared. So let's look at this graph right here. I'm going to zoom in on this graph as far as I can zoom, I guess. So there, this is the center. And that's going to be one of my coordinate pairs. This coordinate right there, that is -2, 0. That's what that coordinate right there is. And this is the other point we're working with right here. That point is -1, 1, 2, +2. Okay? And I'm just going to call this one my x1 and my y1. This one is going to be my x2 and my y2. And there's the bell. Okay, and so now let's just plug that into this equation right here. So this is going to be the distance equals the square root of x2, which is -2. So it's going to be -2 minus x1, which is -1. What? Squared plus y2, which is 0, minus, oh, I should have done that in orange, 0, minus y2, or y1, which is 2, and then squared. And you can do that math out in your head if you want to, or you can just pull out your calculator and put that entire thing in. Just make sure you put the parentheses exactly how you wrote them. And I would always, when I have negatives, I always put my negatives in parentheses just to be safe. Okay, so then I just square root, and then parenthesis again, -2, minus -1, another parenthesis squared, plus parenthesis 0 minus 2 squared, enter, and it's 0.236 something. So this means that this D equals 2.236. Oh, I said 0.236. I meant 2.236. Okay, and this distance right there that I just found, that's the radius. So this is my radius. And now I can write an equation for this because I know that the center is at -2, 0. So that means that my h is -2, my k is 0. So the equation for this is going to be x, it's the opposite of that, so plus 2 squared, plus y plus 0 is the same thing as y, so y squared equals my radius squared. So equals 2.236 squared. And then to get this so it's an actual number, I would use this. So I'd do, just go second answer, the answer button's right there, second answer, and then square it. And you get 5. So this is x plus 2 squared plus y squared equals 5. And that is your equation for that. Just remember, if you're given 2 points, like say you had to find the diameter of this, given 2 points on the outside, you could find the diameter and then half it to get the radius. Okay? So now let's do these last 2 examples. So now we're just graphing these. So to graph this, we have to find the center. So to find the center, I'm going to look at this. So my x-coordinate is the opposite. So the x-coordinate's 3, y-coordinate's -1. And then the radius equals, so remember, this is r squared right here. So r would be the square root of 16, which means r equals 4. And then I can just graph this. So first I graph my vertex. So vertex is 3, -1. It's right there. Then my radius is 4, so I'm going to go 4 in every direction. You go up, right, down, left. So I go up 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. I come back to the vertex, I go right 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, maybe. So I go up, right, now I'm going to go down. 1, 2, 3, 4. Then I go left, 1, 2, 3, 4. And then you can just draw your circle. And hopefully you're better at drawing circles than I am. Okay, let's look at this last example. So first you find your center. So you find the vertex. So you do the opposite, and with the x it's -1. There's nothing with the y, which means it's 0. Then you find the radius. The radius, this is r squared. So you take the square root of that. So the square root of 36, which is 6. Then I'm going to graph my vertex. So -1, 0 is right there. My radius equals 6. So I'm going to go up 6, right 6, down 6, left 6. So if I go up 6, I'm right there. If I go right 6, I'm right there. I go down 6, right there. Left 6, right there. Then I just draw that circle. That kind of looks like a circle. It's really awful, actually. Okay, make sure you took good notes, take the quiz. See you tomorrow. Bye.